Good afternoon. Very pleased to welcome Mr. Spyros Kouvelis from the EU-GCC Green Transition Forum, the first of its kind in the capital, Abu Dhabi. Thank you very much. This is basically has been for some time the planning, and here we are, the first event. What can you tell us?
So this is the first event that is happening regionally from the EU-GCC Cooperation on Green Transition. This is a project that my team and I are implementing, funded by the European Commission, supported by the European Commission, to bring together the EU and all 6 countries in the GCC to address the need to develop joint policies and collaboration for decarbonization, for green transition, as the word says, for climate adaptation, for mitigating climate change and reducing emissions, for example, developing green hydrogen. All of these things need a lot of cooperation, not only at the policy level, but also cooperation between the business sector. And we are trying to bring everyone together for this aspect, for this work. This is the first event. It will be repeated again next year, but we're doing many more things. So, for example, on the 26th of November, we'll do a special event on finance and investment for green transition, again, for the region. The idea is that we get everyone who is an important stakeholder, policymaker, business, technology developers, civil society, to discuss with each one, with the other side, let's say, and develop joint activities.
We're seeing the GCC countries are trying to align their policies. We saw that from the central banks of the Gulf, of the GCC, also the Green Building Code and Unified Code, and also EU basically with the unified policies. What are you doing in terms of the rapprochement between the EU and the GCC when it comes to policies in the green transition?
So, as you very correctly say, the GCC countries have not only a mandate, but they have a vision which is stated black and white on how they want to move in this green transition direction. In some cases, they have done many important advances on doing that. In some other cases, there is a need for getting the best examples that Europe has been developing, because Europe has been a leader in that sector for many years. So what we're trying to do is to provide support from our side where there is an expressed need from the countries and say that we have done it in this way in Europe. So, for example, developing the collaboration in green hydrogen that I said before, and try to join forces in doing it. So, best case scenarios, best available technologies, and also lessons learned from developing a policy in Europe. So, in Europe, we have developed the first climate law globally. Now countries are starting to develop climate laws here. So there is an opportunity to show and share with our counterparts in the GCC countries what worked and what didn't work, so that we don't have to invent a wheel every time.
So you're relaying the know-how, the laws, the thoughts, the policies between vice versa in this regard.
Precisely, and our project is not about us being the expert, but it's us being the connecting, let's say, system, so that we can bring people from the European Commission, either from experts in the Commission or from the business side, as I said as well, to communicate with their peers here. And ideally, from the next event onwards, we will also have the inclusion of B2B meetings, of the possibility of the business sector connecting, and in this we get a lot of support also from the European Union delegations, who then spread the word also to the embassies of the European Union member states.
So this event is in Abu Dhabi basically, and what about replicating this event, having GCC counterparts in Europe? Are you planning to have so?
Yes, this is also one of the things that we want to do. So get delegations, I would say, or groups of stakeholders that will benefit from being in the European Union. So meeting their counterparts, but in Europe. As you know, in a few days from now, there will be the first summit meeting between the European Union and the GCC countries in Brussels. And I think that will open the way for a number of exchanges that will be necessary and very useful, actually.
In terms of COP29, we have very soon COP29. Is there any alignment between the GCC and the European Union?
I think that especially after COP28 last year, this year actually, that we had a lot of exchanges between the two regions, there is a continued cooperation. And in fact, the meeting that is now taking place between the European Union and the GCC countries in Brussels in a week from now is a very good opportunity to align things and have, common objectives and common ideals.
What is the agenda of this very important meeting next week?
The agenda is not only about green transition. You know that there is already a joint statement and a joint policy between the GCC and the European Union on a number of issues relating to green transition, to human rights, to business,
Security.
to policy, to security. All of these things will be put on the table. So I think that there will be a very rich agenda, but it's very important that the first one is happening now in the European Union. And I also sense that there is a lot of appetite and interest from the GCC countries to further this collaboration, because we see each other as real strategic partners.
Mr. Kouvelis, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you so much.